The man raised his rifle and aimed at an antelope. He pulled the trigger, and the shot hit the antelope in the rear. Watching it run off in the opposite direction, he remained calm. He picked up the spent cartridge from the ground and began to pursue it. But when he arrived at the spot, he noticed a pool of blood. Immediately, he sensed something was wrong. Following the trail of blood, he soon discovered an injured hunting dog nearby. Realizing there must have been a gunfight in the area, he quickly turned and followed the opposite direction. Not long after, he found several vehicles parked at the foot of a mountain. To figure out what had happened, he cautiously approached to investigate. But upon reaching the scene, he saw that all the people on the ground were dead. Inside one of the vehicles, a man was barely clinging to life. The hunter raised his rifle, but to his surprise, the man asked him for a drink of water. Since he didn't have any water on him, he took the man's weapon and left. He then moved behind a truck to check it out and unexpectedly discovered that the cargo was still in the vehicle. Clearly, someone had taken the money and fled, possibly wounded. Sure enough, under a nearby large tree, he found a person. But instead of rushing over to check, he quietly crouched in place for half an hour. After confirming the person was no longer moving, he slowly approached. The man under the tree was already dead. He opened the nearby box and found $2 million inside. He knew that this money would bring serious trouble, but no one would let go of cash once they had it in their hands. He immediately grabbed the box and left. He checked into a roadside motel and hid the box in the ventilation duct of room 137. Then, he deliberately stayed in the neighboring room, 138. At that point, a hitman had already followed him. The hitman had zeroed in on room 137. He quietly took off his shoes and crept up. Then, using a gas-powered gun, he blew open the door lock. He immediately fired 2 shots into the room. Suddenly, he saw a hand in the mirror. Someone was pleading for mercy. Not wanting to dirty his clothes, the hitman pulled down the curtains. After cleaning up all the people in the room, he couldn't find the box. The hitman didn't know that John had already dragged the box through the ventilation duct into the neighboring room. It wasn't until he noticed the scratches on the duct that he realized what had happened. However, John had already escaped.